Joining us now, former ATF Special Agent in Charge Bernard Zapor and former DC Police Detective and Fox News contributor Ted Williams. Bernard, let me come to you first. Talk to us a little bit about how this investigation is unfolding right now. 2 people questioned. 2 people released, a shooter who appears to have made a clean getaway. So what does the FBI, everybody investigating that, what do they do now?
Well, I can assure you that every federal law enforcement resource, every state and local resource is being absolutely utilized to find the person responsible for this. A person at large, after committing this crime, is a significant threat to public safety wherever that person is at. Obviously, too, they want to find any ties or associations because they have to kill the dragon, all its heads. There's no priority greater than that at this moment. And everything is being utilized for that. They'll be quiet about what they're finding until they have somebody in custody in this part of it to stop the threat.
Ted, let me ask you, it seems as though this person had this action carefully planned. So do you think that his exit was equally as well planned? Do you think he's still in the state of Utah? Where do you think this person could be at this very moment?
I don't know, who knows where. But what I do believe, and you've already touched on it, that this was very well planned. This wasn't this guy's first rodeo coming on that campus and coming to that the very area in which he shot and killed Charlie Kirk. I think that he had recon, that he had been there on numerous occasions. He planned it out. There is a possibility that an automobile was at some location. There was also a strong possibility that he could have very well blended into the crowd as the crowd was running away from that scene. So this was well planned out. This was either a professional hitter or shooter or killer. This was someone who was very proficient in using what I define as a rifle under the circumstances.
And Bernard, let me come back to you on that very point that Ted brings up there. When you look at that scene, Bernard, we understand that it was to the right of the screen there. There's a building behind there called the Losi Center. We believe that the shooter was on the roof of that, around 200 yards from Charlie Kirk. Single shot directly into the neck. Nobody knows weaponry better than you, Bernard. How proficient must this shooter have been? What does it perhaps tell us about his background that in those conditions, at that distance, he could take that shot and achieve his evil aim with one single bullet?
Well, technology and equipment is ever evolving and makes the less proficient shooter more effective. And so a 200-yard shot is possible for somewhat of a layperson. It doesn't have to be somebody who's significantly trained. They also could have had luck in their shot. But obviously, even with the technology, the optics, there was some really significant planning to be able to make a shot like that. As horrific it is, all possibilities about the escape of the person involved, including what Ted just touched on, blending into the crowd. We've seen that before. But to position themselves to not have been identified and to be able to escape, that that reveals a planning and a modus operandi that had this in sights. And then also to know ultimately where the victim was going to be seated and when he was going to be still and not have an obstruction between him and the shooter.
Ted, I want you to put your detective hat back on for just a moment. If this person wanted to take out Charlie Kirk, he could have done it anywhere. He could have done it at his home. He could have done it in a different place. He chose to do it in this public setting. Do you think part of his mission here was to send a message?
It could very well be that he wanted to send a message, or quite naturally, we don't know what that message is, Anita. But I have to believe, and as Bernard has already somewhat talked about here, I would have to believe the video feeds are going to be very significant. The video feeds that they are going to get from buildings and the surrounding venue are going to be very significant in bringing this person to justice. I think also the public is going to also help, because that is what the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies are hopefully operating under, and hope that they can get the public to help them to be engaged in bringing this person to justice.
All right, Ted, thank you so much. Thank you to you, Bernard, to both of you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Well, the political world